Happy Christmas, everybody.
Oh my God,
Okay,
happy Life Day.
It is Life Day. Did I scare you with the volume there?
Yeah.
Well, I'm very excited. Christmas is my favorite time of the year. Look at this hat. Look at these.
Wow, look at this sweater that you can't see under the graphic. So that's what it is, and that's the last you see of it.
Once a year. Thanks for joining us here on the High Ground Holiday Special.
Ooh.
We're going to talk about the Holiday Special. But before we do, I want to remind everybody that Monday on the channel, you can watch the Scavenger Scum, where we will be announcing the winner of the Last Jedi Prediction Contest, as well as something else. And we're going to have our favorite things video, where we talk about some of our viewers' favorite Star Wars things. That should be a lot of fun. Merry Christmas, because that is happening. And happy holidays to everybody else, and to you. And I hope everyone's having a great time. And whatever. Okay, see ya. All right, we're going to talk about the Holiday Special. Brock, what do you think of the Holiday Special?
Oh, what a travesty. And especially living in this day where our community is divided on what is the worst Star Wars movie. And I give you the Star Wars Holiday Special. But I also say it lovingly, because it's like you kind of give them a break, because there was no one who actually understood Star Wars working on this. But there's so many ideas that are like, this is kind of fun, but it's also a product of time.
It's funny that you said back then they didn't really know what Star Wars was, and you look at Splinter of the Mind's Eye and how things changed and developed.
Yeah,
and I would argue that nobody really knows Star Wars, because Star Wars is ever changing and ever growing. True. And we just saw that with The Last Jedi and the fandom. And I just think, so for that point, I agree with you. Mm-hmm. But I don't think there's a such thing as understanding Star Wars to the point, because we're all like, no, I read all the books, I know this and that. But the minute you hire Rian Johnson or somebody, they can be like, you know what? I think this. And then you go with it. I think you have to go with it. I think the downfall of the Star Wars special is that George Lucas has an obsession, as do you, with Wookiees.
Wookiees, yeah.
And the obsession with Wookiees led to Ewoks, which is fantastic. Maybe that even led to Porg, because we don't know. No, it's Puffins, but still.
Puffins.
But his obsession with Wookiees is the downfall of this holiday special. And and actually, you could even say the obsession with Wookiees and keeping things canonical is the downfall, because they don't speak.
Yeah.
Right?
I was thinking about this during Last Jedi.
This movie? No,
another idea that kind of hinted to this. Like, BB-8 is great in Last Jedi. I'm like, they should make a holiday special of BB-8, which Funny or Die has done.
They did, yeah. Years ago.
But that made me think of like, oh, the same problem is droids can't talk, or at least BB-8 doesn't talk in an audible voice. So it's like that. Yeah, that's a problem. It's like, but like you can like you love Han and Chewie because the talking between them are fine. But then then you have the scenes where it's just Wookiees going. It was like, what? So stop that.
My shirt glows and it's not working. Oh! No, it didn't go.
So yeah, if they could have incorporated more, or maybe even had Chewbacca have like some inner monologue or something. But again, I think that would like
He's got like Vincent Price.
No, what would be like? No, what would be perfect? And I have two ideas. I thought of this as I was rewatching it. One, somebody needs to do a lip dub of this. So like us. Two, it would be awesome if there was a narrator that is like old Chewbacca, like on Wonder Years. So it gets Daniel Stern's like, oh my God. Stop everything. We got to go make some videos.
Do you think they should do a sequel to this and have Chewie bring a porg back for Life Day dinner?
Oh my God.
Right?
The thing that's sad is he has this family, which is very cool. But then like you have 9 movies where you never see this family.
Well, we have a 10th movie coming, and it looks like we might get some of his family in the Han Solo movie. And if you read Aftermath, Lumpy, I think is Waru in that book.
Waru, yeah.
He is now canon.
He's now canon.
He's been canonized. He is Chewie's son, and I also believe his wife is in there as well.
Yeah.
So I think his family is slowly creeping its way in, which is kind of funny. Whether or not we see them in Han Solo, we don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's important. I think it would be nice though if there was some kind of reference to that in Han Solo, and he's like, I gotta leave you guys because I gotta go save this guy, but it's all silent while they watch a little weird Cirque du Soleil on the table.
Yeah.
B. Arthur.
Beatrice Arthur.
I would argue that's the best scene in the special.
Oh, for sure.
Easily. You could argue the Boba Fett cartoon.
I love the animation of the Boba Fett cartoon. That's one of the positives. Like, oh, I wish they would do more of this.
Well, they did. It was called Droids.
Oh, that's true.
The same animation team, company and everything did Droids. Yeah, that's great. But the B. Arthur scene is... I'll separate that from the Boba Fett because Boba Fett is like an interlude cartoon. And B. Arthur is actually part of the special. And she sings a song. Yeah. And it's lovely.
One Last Dance? Is that the title?
I think whatever. It's one last holiday special for Star Wars. I think that is actually the strongest point of the special.
Oh, yeah. No, it's... you can tell there's so many ideas. Like, the people they put in is like Art Carney and like Roger Corman. It's like, at the time, I guess they were kind of a big deal. When is this in comparison to Golden Girls? Because I know...
This is 1978, I want to say.
So it's way before Golden. Yeah. So it's like B. Arthur's known for being on like
Soap?
Maude.
Was she on Soap?
No, she was on Maude, which is a spin-off of...
They're all the same to me.
All in the Family, I believe. So
Wasn't
I'm like,
that
okay.
Archie Bunker's place?
Yeah, maybe. That's a good point. Again, it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's like Star Wars is geared for children, so this is kind of a thing. But like, there's things in it that are fun. Like the whole cooking scene is cool, and then like, I want to know whose like brainstorm was like, well, when Roger Corman's the alien in the canteen is like, we'll pour the drink in my head. I'm like. What?
You know, Art Carney played the original idea for Lando Calrissian.
Right, which that's awesome.
Yeah, like that was the original concept for Lando, which is kind of cool. Look at, I got it.
It's funny because it's like there's so many cool things in this. Like this is your first visual of Boba Fett. Yeah, I mean he totally gets sort of rejigged, but like this is the first time we see Boba Fett, and then to have Lando possibly in this show. And then you hear the stories like George Lucas had nothing to do with this, or he didn't. I was like, "What?" Like, I think you're like, "Here's an idea." Yeah,
and look, we did a video on it last year, like a really short thing, but the producers were like, "We watched it, and it was really bad." But at the time, so were pretty much every other Christmas special, holiday special. So they were like, "We'll just let it go," which completely makes sense because if Star Wars was a huge hit, you have something that's kind of like, people will watch it, because it's Star Wars, and that's. You know, what I think you see with, and I'm not comparing this to The Last Jedi, but in terms of numbers, people watched The Last Jedi because it was the next Star Wars movie, right? Yeah. It didn't matter. It could have been this holiday special. It still would have made over $200 opening weekend. You know what I mean? Like, you're selling it on the name, and it ended up being a silent art film. Yeah. I don't really know what else to say to the holiday special. How many times have you seen it, truthfully?
I think I've watched it all the way through once because it's painful to watch at parts. I think I know more about it because I've listened to How Did This Get Made holiday special on this on like watching it. So it's like, oh yeah, that's a good point. But it's like it's so many things. It's a kids thing, but it's so weird. Like the whole Itchy watching. What's the singer? Diane something. It's like a simulation, which is like so I am your emotions. I am your fantasy. It's like what is happening? It's like this weird VR. Like I don't know. Like it's not pornography, but it's very close. It's like let us feel the essence. I'm like what? Like no kid will be like, oh yeah, that's cool.
Well, I wasn't around back then, but I feel like that also fits in with the times. Like it kind of like when you look at it, you're like that takes you to a certain time in history, and you're like, oh yeah, that's 1970 whatever. Like it's like when you watch what was I watching recently, and I was like, no, this is the 80s through and through. I was watching A Christmas Carol with George C. Scott, and I was like, this is the 80s. There's nothing not like it's not. It takes place in the 1800s, but there's nothing not 80s feeling about it. Yeah. And that's what you got with this is you're like, it takes you to an era and you're like, this would never fly any other time but this moment. Yeah. Do you remember the first time you watched this awesome?
Oh, God. Thing? Probably in college at some point. Yeah. And I've never physically seen a physical copy of it.
I don't think anyone was ever made.
Like I think there was a bootleg that goes around. I've seen that you could possibly purchase it, but it's probably just like a Memorex DVD of anything. I mean, the beauty of it is like you see the logos and stuff from the TV channel it aired on or whoever. Like mine said like Dayton, Ohio. Dayton. Welcome to Dayton.
That sounds like a character from the holidays.
Yeah. I wonder. Now we mentioned that Lumpy and Mala are kind of, and B. Arthur's character are introducing the canon. When I was watching the cooking special recently, I was like, he's mentioning all these like ingredients. I'm like, I wonder if anyone's like taken those words and just thrown them in. But like, I should have written them down. I can't remember them now.
I think you and I should tweet Pablo Hidalgo.
Yeah.
And ask him that. And in the new year, we'll come back to you guys with an answer.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that. Why not? Because I mean, it's not. We're not really. Like the holiday special, like Lucasfilm Disney, somebody there is acknowledging it, because if you watch the Star Wars show on YouTube, on the Star Wars YouTube channel, last year, they did a holiday special. Oh,
yeah, that's right.
It was all about it. So, look, they know what's going on there. They had a whole Bring Back Teak thing right after that, too.
Yeah.
Like, they know what's going on. So I wouldn't argue against anyone understanding. Because look, hate it all you want, the story, whatever, but there are ingredients in there that I think they were like, this is something. Like Chewbacca's family. At some point, they're going to tell a story about Chewbacca's family. He's too big a character not to. And they love going back in time. And if they already have it, why not use what you have? Because to average Joe fans, they're not going to care. To the hardcores, they're like, oh, there's a reference.
Yeah.
And then it's fine because it doesn't matter. It's not like, oh, yeah, remember when we went to Life Day? You scratch that out, but you have this. You
can't just pretend something didn't happen.
George Lucas tries.
And that is his failing. It's like, there's so many, there's things in here that are cool, but like just don't work. But like the Roger Corman bit where he's with that like device that Lumpy has, it's like it looks like a audio mixer and there's little buttons and stuff. He's showing you how to use it. He's like an instructional, but then he's like malfunctioning while that there's something very interesting about that. But I'm like, what is the point of this? Like it's like performance art. Like if I was at like a Fringe festival, I was like, oh yes, this is very good. Stop pushing the button. It doesn't work. But like, it's like
look at that. No, stop it. Turn off the light.
I can't. You're closer to the light.
It took 20 minutes.
But like Walmart, he's just doing that like thing where he's slows down and it's like he's like a robot or something. Yeah. That is very cool, but it's so bizarre. Like, why would you put it in? I don't get it. And then I love how Leia sings the song at the end to the tune of the Star Wars theme song.
Do you think we'll ever get Padme and Rey singing that song together as a duet?
Padme and Rey.
Why not?
Sure. I mean, if you're going to try to like make something similar to this again, why not just just throw in as many actors as you possibly can?
I guess it would be Poe singing.
Yeah.
By the way, I'll get into it another time. But yeah, just a new Star Wars holiday special would be fantastic. Mm-hmm. I don't think they would because canon's too big of a problem.
Yeah, I mean,
they're so worried with, does this connect to that? Just have fun, man. I would like a Star Wars holiday book.
Yeah, well, there was a book that went with this, the Wookiee storybook.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. I've always wanted to.
Chewie and the Porg celebrating Porg Day or something.
Yeah. That's where you can do funny stuff like that. But like a Star Wars TV special would be fun. And like we're constantly talking about like, oh, we know they're making some type of live action TV show at some point. But something that just standalone. Like that's something of like back in the day, like 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s. They're trying to bring it back. Like they just did that live Christmas Story musical on CBC here in Canada.
They do a live,
and they do a lot of those musicals.
Fox. It was on Fox. They do it every year.
Mm.
They do it live.
But you know what I mean, right? Like they did like Peter Pan, Sound of Music, stuff like that. Grease, stuff like that is kind of fun. I don't watch them, but like they're not good. But like, who cares? Like it's like there's something kitschy about this. Like I enjoy this. Like it's not great, but it's not terrible. So it's
have fun with the property.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like they could do something that'd be sweet. I don't know, but the problem is like it's funny how it's not really about Christmas, but we equate it to Christmas.
And it came out, I think, for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So, but holiday
Happy
special.
holidays.
I don't know. I think that's like holiday right there. We don't really everything like we have lots of holidays, but like happy holidays equated with It's Christmas.
Have you seen the He-Man and She-Ra Christmas
Oh,
special?
God, yes.
I have like the 3-disc box set. It is like an art.
Yeah.
It is the greatest Christmas special ever made. This is not that.
I like the part where the kid dies in the middle of it.
Yeah.
He's like, ugh.
It's really something else.
Oh, man.
Anyway, this was the holiday special.
Yep,
we don't want to bore you. We want you guys to get back to your last minute shopping if that's what you do. And if you're at home, thanks for watching. If you're on the road, thanks for listening. Be safe on the road because there might be a snowstorm or it might be sunny depending on where you live. I have no idea.
It's always sunny in Philadelphia.
Always. From Brock and myself, wishing you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and all of that. We will see you right before the New Year, guys. And Brock, you were always scum.
Rebel scum.
Hey, scumbags. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.